Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Psychedelic Assassin Squad by developer Darshell. This is one of those games that I would say is very much well in the wheelhouse of being called a Nick game. I know that's become a thing at some point, but it's a first-person surreal shooter with sort of an arena component to it and a lot of just irreverence and psychedelic flashing colors, as if you couldn't tell by the title screen, right? So yeah, probably be a little bit leery of that if you have any issues with epilepsy. There is definitely a moment where the screen will just literally be flashing all of the colors, so be prepared. I'm going to hit enter to start, and we're going to see what we can do about Psychedelic Assassin Squad. So here we go. Our mission briefing is being presented by this fishman. All right, men, something about a mission. We need to work our way to the occipital lobe to shut down the brain. Blarg. Are you ready? Testosterone! This is the part where the colors flash, as if you couldn't tell. There we go. Okay, so now we actually get to the gameplay part, and this is our weapon selection screen, and it's a pretty interesting one at that, because we've got this flurry of different weapons all coming down at various angles, smacking into each other, and if we want to pick a specific one, we actually need to nail it with our crosshair to get credit for it. So I did actually choose an Uzi or an SMG of some kind. We're now getting dropped in for our mission, and we're going to land in a first-person perspective where there's still plenty of flashing colors and craziness, and then eventually the screen will open up, and now the mission has actually begun. So let's start shooting bad guys and trying to shut down the brain, because that is basically what we're after in any of these seizurific Indie Impressions episodes. So as you can probably figure out, pretty simple premise here. Shoot all the things. You probably don't need me to tell you that, but we can at least go over some of the UI and control components to this if you are interested, and if you can pardon the crazy amount of flashing everything that's going on in every direction. So first of all, we've got a strange and kind of unique system for how the gunfire works. As you might notice in the bottom right corner, there's actually a little bar that seems to be filling up little by little. That's actually our ammo. We don't ever reload. We just sort of incrementally lose ammo, and then it just regains. So it's kind of reloading and recharging all at the same time, and it just stops the player from just spamming, holding down fire the entire game, which, you know, by all counts, really, probably wouldn't have made a massive difference anyway, but I suppose in later situations that could end up being sort of a strategic move that we need to be a little bit more careful about how often we're squeezing fire on our enemies, and there does seem to be a pretty good degree and variety of our enemies. Some of them seem to attack from the sky, some of them seem to be more inclined to walk around, some of them seem to like to perch on ledges far away, and that's about all I've seen so far. Then we've also got our jetpack meter, which is our right-click, and that's the one that seems to be sitting right underneath what I believe to be our health bar. And then in the bottom left, I'm going to say that's very likely to be how many things we need to kill before this mission ends. So I've finished that guy. If he falls out of the sky, I can't actually watch it while I'm shooting at these guys, so you guys are going to have to take my word for it. Pretty certain that's what's going on here. There we go. Okay, mission was a success. There's still a tiny little increment of that bar left, so I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken on that, or maybe that's just the 0 value and it's just like 1 pixel. Alright, so next mission, we get a crazy flashing light screen and we get to choose another weapon. I'll try and see if I can grab something different this time. I don't want to get a rifle. I like some sort of a bazooka maybe would be sweet, but I can't seem to grab one very easily. Okay, I think I got one that time. I actually really kind of like that menu. It keeps it so it's kind of going to be a little bit random, but you can also kind of use your skill if you can try to anyway to try and, you know, nail the weapon that looks interesting to you. Oh, I think I actually picked up the rifle by accident, but I meant... Oh, it's a shotgun. Okay, this is actually cool. I haven't tried this yet. In my pre-play, before I started this, I only did spend about, 2 or 3 minutes with it, but I did try the rifle and the Uzi prior, and I know the Uzi, or SMG, or whatever we're calling it, seemed like pretty much the ideal weapon, but the shotgun also seems like it could be pretty useful as well, especially since it seems to have enough ammo per charge to get some actual firing done, although, then again, if you get in a pretty intense firefight, I imagine you could burn through that pretty quickly, or if you just keep missing for whatever reason. But that is kind of contrary to the idea of how shotguns work, so it's not super likely to happen. Before you get too worked up about the color scheme, I'm pretty sure it might just be the first 2 levels that function in this blue, or well, green, blue realm, I guess. It's a little bit of both. But there are some other things going on, and I want to maybe finish this one if we could to see what happens beyond this, because I didn't actually get past this in my prior play. And the level design is slightly different here, but not drastically. I mean, it's still essentially just an arena, a big old box with some more boxes in it, and we can choose to climb up those if we want. Also, I guess probably bears mentioning the camera, maybe a little bit loopy when you're trying to look downward. The gun model seems to sort of get a bit strange and far away, so I don't know. I've seen this kind of thing happen before. It doesn't really faze me all that much, but if you're the type of person that is not a fan of things being a little bit wonky, well, you probably wouldn't enjoy half the games that I cover on this channel anyway, so that's probably okay. That's what I'm going to hope anyway, so onward and upward we go, defeating more robots and flying jetpack creatures of all kinds. I'm hoping that there's probably other enemies that we might run into further on, because actually, you know what, it seems like maybe it's not coming across, but I'm actually enjoying this game quite a bit. If at the very least I just see it as having a ton of potential for just wackiness and just like a lot of different directions that you can take something like this to, and it's got the infrastructure already kind of laid out. You could do speed trials for these types of levels. You could have a huge variety of things, maybe even randomly generated levels. You could just keep adding to the weapons. It could be, you know, sort of like a super crate box sort of thing, where after a certain amount of levels you start unlocking new weapons. And I guess I'd really just have the rifle, right? I mean, you can only really see a few things here. So I went for that. So we're going to prepare to drop again. We'll see if we get a non-green world on this one, because I'd like to see something a little bit different. Oh, looks like we've got green world again. Maybe they're broken it up into increments of 3 or something. So this is probably going to be the most challenging for me to shoot people with. Not that it's a terrible gun or anything, but like, I was sort of benefiting from having a large amount of bullets at one time. Although actually I can fire pretty quickly, so really this isn't all that bad. I guess I was just exaggerating. Also, if you can't tell, I'm really enjoying the soundtrack as well. Some really good, pretty wild electronica, chiptune style stuff going on in the background, with a little bit of maybe a glitchy sound to it. And that seems very appropriate for what we're doing here. In fact, I almost feel like the game doesn't go as crazy as I would have expected it to, given the way the opening goes. You know, getting your briefing given to you by this fish man, and then you're dropped into this situation, whatever this may be. You know, it seems like we could have actually gotten even weirder. But, you know, that's okay. Maybe when we shut down the brain and we get to the next mission, or whatever is going to be the case, maybe then it'll get even weirder. I'm hoping. And I'm hoping the enemies also do get weirder, too. I also like how they drop in on this, like, tractor beam, too. It's kind of a neat effect. I mean, it's essentially just a cylinder, but it looks kind of cool. They didn't have to do that. You could have just made the enemies start appearing wherever you were outside of your viewpoint, and you would have never known. Also, some power-ups wouldn't be a terrible idea, too. I imagine if you had an occasional thing that would give you, like, a super shot for, like, 10 seconds, that could be kind of really fun to run for, or even if you get some kind of, like, a special power that lets you fly infinitely, or, you know, maybe even just make some of these arenas a little bit more open-ended would be kind of cool, too. So, next mission, I think we're just going to do one more here before we wrap things up. Oh, God! We're entering the temporal lobe. Oh, it's so much color. Oh my goodness, I can't actually handle that for very long. I guess we'll go for the shot. Okay, well, I think I went for the shotgun. I think I ended up getting the same one I just had used a moment ago. But still, it's fine if we get to show off all of the things. So I'm guessing since we've changed brain part... Oh yeah, okay. I can get into this. We've got some pink flashing now. Oh my goodness. Alright, that is very colorful. I kind of like this design a lot better than the prior one, actually, and it reminds me of another game that I've played on the channel, and now I can't think of the title, but it was basically just, like, a million cubes, and then they would, like, go up and down as you fought stuff. It was another, like, first-person, I think it might have been voxel-based shooter, with an arena-style thing going on it. Oh, man, I've run out of ammo, and it just takes forever for me to recharge. Oh, God! I guess they wrecked me out of nowhere. They must be a lot stronger in this particular level, and maybe I picked a poor weapon choice on that one. But anyway, I won't belabor the point. Not a bad game. I think it's definitely a good framework for something even more bizarre and crazy. But for now, I think even as it is, and I don't know if this will still be worked on or anything, it might be done just the way it is right now. But, you know, soundtrack's good, graphics are very vibrant and wild, the gameplay is solid enough. I mean, it gets what it wants to do done. It's a competent first-person shooter. It also reminds me a little bit of Gun Gods. which I've also covered on the channel if you want to go check that one out. It was a Vlambeer game, if I remember correctly. But, you know, another fast-paced shooter. That one was a little bit more story-driven and had a little bit more going on in the levels. This is more of an arena shooter. But anyway, figured it would be a good thing for the channel. Seems like I'm enjoying it. Hopefully you enjoy it as well. If you want to go check it out, link's going to be in the description. You see how far you get, see how much of the brain you can shut down as you stare at those epilepsy-inducing flashing lights. And of course, if you enjoyed the video during the course of this, feel free to leave a like on it. It actually helps me out a whole bunch. You can also check out my other social media links in the description of this. If you enjoyed what you saw, there are almost 800 other episodes that are all neatly categorized over on indie-impressions.com. So there's plenty more to see and do. Tons of games to go find and explore, and they're all tagged over there. So if you want to just look at the free ones, that's totally cool as well. Whatever floats your boat. So I will see you again tomorrow. New episodes of Indie Impressions go up every single day, so I hope to see you back for that. Hope you enjoyed what you saw here, and I will see you again later. Talk to you next time, guys.